Welcome back to All Chat, episode 15, the only League of Legends esports podcast that brings you news and information from all four major regions every week. My name is Jack Dawes. I'm joined by Grayson Yada. Let's talk about some League of Legends.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about some League, Jack. I'm excited.
How are you
Alrighty.
doing?
I'm good.
It's been a week. How have you been? What have you been up to?
We got a tournament coming up, so I've just been skating a bit.
Big hockey guy.
Big hockey guy. Yeah. Actually, today, well, by the time this comes out, it's going to be way past, but today at Chipotle, if you wear a hockey jersey, it's buy one get one.
Oh.
So
wait, I didn't know that. I actually have a hockey jersey. That's so funny because my C9 jersey is a hockey jersey.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't know if that counts, but
I think it does. Like, because they're accepting like roller hockey jerseys. So, dude, if you're feeling chipper for dinner, it's only $5.54 right now. Plenty of time for chipper still.
Yeah, I actually might do that. Wait, do you say it's buy one get one free or buy one get one 50% off?
Yeah. Buy one get one free.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Okay, wait, that might be.
So
the move.
you could snag dinner for you and Joe, or grab your lunch for tomorrow.
Yeah, actually,
however you want to do it.
Wow, that's so funny. This is completely random hockey news too. But did you see that the Arizona,
the Coyotes,
the Coyotes, they're moving to Utah, right?
Yeah. That's actually it's pretty crazy news. Over the past 2 seasons, basically, they had an arena it was like Gila River Arena. I want to say it was in like Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And then they moved into ASU's college arena.
Oh.
And like the whole organization just went like super downhill. Like it came out that they weren't even paying their like hotel bills for this season when they were like on the road.
God.
Yeah, and then like the commissioner of the NHL was obviously pissed that they were just playing in a college arena. Like, I think average capacity at most stadiums is like at least 15,000, and at ASU's rink it's 5,000, and it's all like bench seating, so you don't even have like actual seats, and that's what they played with the whole year. And I think, the commissioner Gary Bettman was just like, "Yeah, we're over it. Like,
nice,
we're out." And
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Arizona.
This sounds like some of these LCS orgs. Sounds like the level of commitment.
Yeah,
LCS orgs are putting in.
Except it's like a Big Four National Hockey League team. But it sucks because there's a lot of. Hey, chill. But like, it sucks because like a lot of the best player, or one of the best players in the league, Austin Matthews, he's a stud. Scored the most goals in the league this year, and like his hometown team was the Arizona Coyotes, like Phoenix Coyotes at the time. Wow. But it was the Coyotes, and now they're just like moving out of Arizona. So that's a whole new it's a whole hockey market that's kind of just disappearing.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks.
But at least I don't know. I feel like it'll get attention in Utah. I mean, Salt Lake is growing, so
oh, big time. Yeah, I mean they already sold like 11,000. Like 11,000 people already put down deposits for season tickets or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
that's huge.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, and that's your Legends news.
Kind of crazy. Yeah. We'll see y'all next week. All chat is by the fans for now. Yeah.
That's so funny.
But
that's been big
as
news.
Far as like,
no, you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, as far as like, non-league related stuff, I mean, that's probably one of the bigger things, along with just like playoff starting in both the NBA and NHL. Yeah. So it's a good time to be a fan of either of those leagues.
The Arizona Coyotes thing has been big, like, just because the place where I work is headquartered in Utah, so people have been talking about it because it's like it's not actually in Salt Lake, but it's pretty close. So
Mhm.
that's kind of the only reason I know about it. I saw a little bit about it
Uh-huh.
online, but I'm not a big like traditional sports guy, so but I heard about that.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Am I
you cut
lagging?
out, but
Oh, did I cut out?
a little bit, a little
Dude, I
bit.
don't know. There's like
But
I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. It's like
no,
everything on my
don't worry.
computer
We're
is
good.
closed. Okay.
Th- Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. um, but yeah, as far as league news goes, dude, there's actually kind of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we only had
Oh,
one series. I mean, like one major region series in between last week and this week. But there's like a bunch of
uh-huh.
off-season stuff that's been happening too.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the big news for today, like literally today, is TheShy maybe go to LNG, bro. Which is, I think that's crazy because
Yeah.
I don't think Zick is that bad. Like, I
No.
don't think he was like the problem by any means. But I mean, anytime you
It's a
get this shy, it's
yeah,
like,
it's a weird situation, right? Because it's like Zika was actually I thought one of the better parts of that roster. Like I thought he was playing fine or good, but it's like it's one
yeah,
of those things like the Kaiser Trimby situation where it was like Trimby wasn't the problem
yeah,
on Heretics, but if you can get Trimby, don't you just get
uh huh,
Trimby, right? And it's kind of the same thing with this
yeah.
where it's like I don't maybe it's a little different because the shy I don't is like more controversial, I
So
guess. But it's like
I
if
mean,
you
the
can
thing
get the shy,
is,
do you just take the shy? I don't know.
right? Also, like way in the shy. I mean, they went to
Yeah.
Worlds final last year together, right?
Yeah.
And right now, the biggest problem for LNG is way not like fitting in. So
Mm,
I think if there's a way that they can, kind of get way going, the shy is probably one of the best ways that they could do that. And
yeah.
hopefully that, that helps out the rest of the roster because my God, is their roster just stacked. And for them to finish ninth or whatever this, in playoffs, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
So
Talk
I don't
about like
know. I'm
a
excited if that's actually true.
talk about a super team though, right? Because what it's if it's true, which we've only seen like one rumor from a screenshot from
Yeah.
like a Chinese thread, I
From
think. So
Weibo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, not the team Weibo, the website.
Yeah,
Um
the social media.
yeah. So if it's true, it's what, the Shy and then Weiwei, Scout,
Scout, Gala, and then
Gala.
Hong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I mean,
really
that's
hope
an
it's not
insane
Mark.
roster. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy roster. I mean, heck, LG went to summer finals last year, took JDG to 5 games, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they were like, they could have stopped the Golden Road before that even before they even went to Worlds, right? So I don't know. But then, one of the other big pieces of LNG, Tarzan, right, might
Right.
unironically end up on Weibo,
Yeah.
which is also crazy, right?
The
So,
the Shy though is like he's a weird piece to pick up because he's kind of controversial in the sense that he has his insane games, but he also has his games where he just runs it down. But as a
mhm.
team and as an entertainment product, I feel like you can't overstate the fact that he brings so much value to an organization through his like personal brand, right? One of
Mhm.
the things I saw online was unironically like not having the shy play this last split might have hurt
Uh-huh.
viewership in the LPL. I think it was the Shy and
Yeah,
they had a couple other people
Uzi,
listed. Uzi, yeah. But just
and
like,
then Doinby not like co-streaming
oh,
as
that's right.
well.
Yeah, okay, so you saw the same thread I did. But
Yeah.
that I feel like that's such a
Yeah.
fair point where it's like as an org, it's not just about, I mean, it is, this is the weird thing about sports and esports, and just like that whole thing as an entertainment product, right? Is because at the end of the day, it's
Mm-hmm.
about winning, right? Like the whole goal of these organizations is to win, and that will get you fans, and that will build you a base that will earn you revenue. Like that's the whole point. But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
it's an entertainment product, right? And if you can find other
Yeah.
ways to provide value to you, not that TheShy is bad, because TheShy is
Mm-hmm.
has his, like, at one point he was the best top laner in the world, right? So it's like, I'm not trying to discredit his
Yeah.
performance, but it's just interesting that, like, even if he wasn't the best player in the world at one point, even if he doesn't show up in that same way, there's still something to be said for the fact that he's going to generate so much talk about LNG and probably so much viewership for the league just by him coming into LNG,
Mm-hmm.
that might be worth it by itself, you know?
Yeah, it's like the Shohei Ohtani effect, right?
Right.
Like he's getting paid $700 million, not because he's super good at baseball. That helps out,
Yeah.
but you're getting all the Japanese fans, you're getting all the jersey sales, you're getting, all these extra people buying season tickets.
Yeah.
And then going back to like TheShy, you get all of Casual's viewership, bro.
Yeah.
Like you get
Yeah.
literally all, like you get the biggest League of Legends streamer to basically co-stream every single one of your games
Yeah.
moving on, like for the summer split, if you pick up TheShy. Obviously it's still like a rumor, right? But
Right.
I mean, you already
Yeah.
know Casual's going to be tuning in every single time LNG plays. That's like an
Oh,
extra
100%.
300, 400,000 people watching, right?
God, you are going to
So
be insufferable if this goes through. If I have to listen to both you and Cadril just going for TheShy the whole time, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, God, it's going to be
hey,
every
I'm a day one
episode.
though. I'm a day one LNG fan or day one Scout fan. I was here before TheShy. I was here before
Yeah.
Cajun was hopping on that
Okay.
shit. Dude,
That's
I
going to
had
be a
LNG winning
nightmare.
worlds last year in my freaking bracket.
I mean, that might be a little insane, but it wasn't like it wasn't
I
an
don't think
insane idea
it.
at the time. Yeah, it wasn't insane. It wasn't insane.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely had the upset potential. It didn't happen, but
Mm-hmm.
they had the potential.
Yeah,
I'll give
they
you that.
got smoked, but yeah, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Whatever.
I feel like there's been a bunch of moves in like LEC as well and LCS. Like Licorice is coming back.
Yeah,
I forget. He's going to Dig, right?
I'm hyped on Licorice coming back. I feel bad for Rich because I think Rich was playing pretty well. We've
Yeah,
talked about him, and you were pretty high on him, and I thought he was playing
yeah.
pretty fine. But Licorice
Mm-hmm.
100% deserves a spot. I think it'll be really interesting to
Oh,
see what he plays like after coming back from a split of not playing. But
mm-hmm.
Licorice is he's probably my favorite top laner in the LCS. So I'm just stoked to have him back. I hope it's
Yeah.
true. I mean, it's sheep
I think
esports
yeah.
reported on it, so it's probably true.
Yeah, I feel bad for Rich, but Licorice is, any. It's like I feel like there's so many parallels with all these guys. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's decent, but if you can get a guy who's up here,
Yeah,
then why not, right? So,
yeah,
but like the thing is with Rich, I thought Rich was kind of enabling that team, but obviously the results didn't show anything for that. So I think
yeah.
it'll help out having like another English speaker for XU for Tomo
Mhm.
for Isles. And then Dove can just kind of, do his own thing in the mid lane.
Yeah,
So
that I was actually curious because I've seen a few things that have said that off-season moves are not done before summer split happens, and I was
mhm.
curious to see if they actually replace Dove as well, because I know
Oh.
there's been some talk. I think XU was talking about it in an interview, and some people have been talking about it, how XU said it's difficult to communicate with his entire top side with
Mm.
Dove and Rich, and I think
Mhm.
replacing Rich with Licorice is part of. I mean, it's one, Licorice is on the market. It's like, in theory that's an upgrade over Rich,
Mhm.
if you can get Licorice in his good form.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is the communication with XU, and if Dig really seems to be putting their eggs in the XU basket, so if you
Mhm.
can get Licorice on your team to help foster XU's growth too, and have like better communication with him and the rest of the team, that they might be looking at that as a reason to make it worth it, which is also why I was wondering if they were going to replace Dove and try and get an English speaker as well to make the whole topside communication better. But I don't know. XU tweeted something. It was an American flag, a pair of eyes, and then a Korean flag. And there's no context, so it could just mean that he's boot camping in Korea, but it could also mean American flag being Licorice in the top lane, eyes being him in the jungle, and then Dove staying in the mid lane. I don't know what it means, but we'll see.
That's probably most likely because I'm sure they dropped a bag to pick up Dove. And it's not like Dove's like a bad player either.
No,
we saw how Quid was his first split, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they're hoping Dove can kind of, smurf on LCS because he spent years in like the East and like the top leagues in the East. So I don't know. I think they probably just stick with Dove for sure. Yeah.
I mean, cool. I'm excited to have Licorice back.
Yeah.
Did you see this stuff about Surdy? Did you see
Surdy?
any of that? Okay. Do you know who
no.
that is?
I don't actually. Yeah. Who is that?
He's an Academy top laner that was on FlyQuest Academy this past year. He's been in the Academy system for like 2 or 3 years, I think. He was going to play on the Evil Geniuses roster this year before they dipped out of the league. So he was going to be their top laner in the LCS. But then obviously they dipped out of the league, so he couldn't play for them. But he just posted something on Twitter and got a bunch of attention for himself because he hit Challenger with like a 92% win rate, I think.
What?
So he had this just monstrous climb to Challenger where he only lost like 5 or 6 games, I think, and won like, I don't remember what it was, 40 or 60 games.
Silly amount. Yeah.
And got to Challenger with like a 92% win rate or something, and he's like, hey, I'm available.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
The top lane talent pool in North America runs deep, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you got that guy, you got Rich who's going to be on the sidelines.
Yeah. Fudge doesn't have a confirmed team.
Yeah, that's true.
After
like someday, I heard rumors that someday's going to LEC, right?
I heard rumors about that. I haven't seen anything to like substantiate it. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen so many rumors for LEC. It's like such a shit show over there. Like names just getting tossed all around.
It feels more like speculation than rumors at this point. Like if you can go through the tier list of like what does it actually qualify as, it feels like LEC is in the speculation phase where there's just nothing supporting it. It's just like, oh, what if this happened? But I have seen something about someday going to. I don't remember what team it was, but maybe. Oh, I think it was.
Was it KC?
KC, because Closer and potentially Abadage are heading there.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, what if Someday is also going there to like recreate the 100 Thieves topside? I don't know. I think that might be the entire thing. I don't know if there's actually any more credit to it than just like, what if they're recreating the 100 Thieves topside?
Yeah. Whatever it is, there's a bunch of names just getting thrown around, and there are some confirmed ones for sure, like the ones we've kind of already talked about, but I can't think of any others that I've seen.
I can't either. We kind of talked about the other big ones with like Thanatos.
I did see that like Ming and someone else from RNG, like their jungle support might be moving, but there's no like landing spot for them. But I think RNG is like blowing up or something like that. But yeah, other than that, I haven't seen too many moves that have been confirmed.
Something that about Breathe being traded for someone's topside
to Weibo. to Weibo for
topside.
ZDZ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
It was
I think
CDZ and Xiaolahu, right? It's like both of them.
yeah.
I think.
It was like Zhao, Zalahu, one of like.
Oh gosh, did I get it wrong?
There's so many Zhaos,
I know.
and then they have Zhaohu in the mid lane too.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's like Zhao Shao or something.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like you can make a whole team of Zhaos
Yeah.
in the Chinese in LPL.
Oh god. I
But-
want to look at whatever. We'll correct it in post maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's one other name. Who was it?
Whatever you're tapping is picking up on the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh my gosh, who was it? I'm gonna lose it.
You got a region, you got a player, you got a
Oh, LCK. Bro, they dropped Gideon, who was
really?
their jungler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where he's gonna end up.
I didn't see
But-
that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we've parted ways with Gideon. So yeah, that's it. That's it for moves. I can't think of
Yeah.
any other ones, but I've seen so many on Twitter like this past 3-4 days.
Yeah.
But we got other things to talk about, right? We got MSI coming up. We
We
got
haven't
the
even talked about
Drals.
LPL finals.
I know, dude. Okay.
BLG TES. I texted Grayson and I said, happy 420. BLG is about to roll TES into a blunt and smoke them. And then I woke up to a 3-1 and I was a happy man.
Yeah, I was like, dude, TS, Top Esports, they're gonna surprise, bro. They did not surprise.
And
They
they
didn't. Yeah.
And then they got smoked.
Yeah. Dude, Elk played disgusting. Like
Elk Solution
this guy is
gross.
it's so good, bro. Like
Oh,
I don't know what
man.
to make of it. This guy might be I think he's the best ADC right now.
Yeah.
But like he was just debating everyone on Top Esports for all of game 1. Like just, stealing summoners, stealing ultimates, whatever. And then the Jhin on an Elk bot dive combo is just on another level as well. Like if there's a bet, it's literally on another level. Yeah. If there's a bet where it's like successful bot dive by BLG, hammer that shit every single game because they're gonna have at least one good bot dive every game.
Yeah.
And it's like the cleanest bot dive you'll ever see. It's always like pre-level 4, and it's just like cool, calm, and collected, in and out. Just that's what a hamburger's all about.
What are you talking about?
In and out slogan is that's what a hamburger's all about. I think. I don't think that's any other fast food chain slogan.
I've never heard that, and I lived in California for 4 years. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, BLG just looks like the best team maybe in the world right now,
and they're getting disrespected so hard by so many people. This is my new like soapbox moment, is that tier lists in the league community are out of control. They're so painfully bad to look at.
Yeah.
There's so few people who have tier lists that I agree with in any way. I think Cadril made a really good video about his world's tier list. So if you want a really good tier list, look at his. There's a guy some people might know. His name is Arsh. He tweets a lot. He is part of a group of North American fans that are really big into the LCS. They make a podcast called NA Men, and they're super cool people. I love what they do for the North American League scene. But he just kind of like offhand tweeted out his kind of ranking for going into Worlds, and I kind of like threw my opinion in there too. And I think his was pretty close to what I would also say is a correct tier list. But there's so many tier lists, like Double Lift's tier list gets
Oh
me
my
so
gosh.
mad.
Yeah.
it
He's just farming, bro. He's farming the interactions
it
for
has
sure.
to be bait. It surely it has to be bait, right?
Yeah.
Like that and Molecule. I have to say I really do appreciate Molecule. I think uh I'm not sure. I don't want to I don't know that much about the person, but provides a ton of value to the league scene and is actually someone that I follow on Twitter that I routinely check their tweets because I actually find them worthwhile.
Mhm.
But Molecule's tier list, man, it's just like they even acknowledged that NA fans would be mad because I think they put PSG over like both the NA teams. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like such EU and minor region cope. I was like,
Uh-huh.
man, I can't do it. I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore.
I think I saw TL like below FlyQuest, below PSG, just in
Yeah,
like D tier or something for their tier list. And I was like,
it just there's so many. I get that tier lists are subjective and they don't
mhm.
even necessarily mean who's going to win. That's kind of what they've turned into is who's going to win. But
Yeah.
I get that they're also like this is like the level I think these teams are going to play. But there's just a level of disrespect that I can't take.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
as a big NA fan, I can't do it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like Double Lifts had LPL, like he had top esports on the same level as like LEC.
I think he had Genji and T1 at the top, and then BLG, and then TES and G2, which Cadrel also thought that there was some amount of credit to putting G2 and TES in the same tier. And I think
Mhm.
I probably undervalued G2 after their finals performance. Because I have to say, like, the rest of their entire year so far has been really good.
Mhm.
But just like putting both LCK teams above BLG for some reason,
Uh-huh.
I can't understand that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we need to do our own tier list for sure.
Okay. I'm
I don't
down.
Yeah, do you want to do one right now
Yeah, let's just do
for
it.
all the teams? Yeah? All right, bet.
We're gonna
I
try
think
and pull this up live, and if it works, maybe it'll go in the video. Otherwise, we'll just post screenshots. I think.
yeah. All right, bet here. I got it up here. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. What do you want to do for the tiers here? Should we just go like the traditional S A B C D,
I
or
think
do we want to
that's
like?
a fair place to start.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Who do you think? Okay, between BLG and between Genji, who do you think is like the S tier? And is that even your two S tiers? I feel like you
So
could throw a T1 in there.
yeah. So here's the thing about making this tier list. There's a couple things I've realized after looking at some of these tier lists too. Is that
Hmm.
there's like Cadrel made a really good point of this. Is there's one tier list that you make based on domestic performance and how they've played so far. And then there's
Hmm.
an entirely separate tier list that you have to make based on historic international performance, right?
Mm.
And it's like, which one do you value more? Because if you go purely based on domestic performance, it's
It's
I
it's
think
Genji.
it's Genji and BLG in S tier.
Yeah. And T1 is like A tier,
I think
probably.
probably T1 is A tier, and then TES is A or B, probably beneath T1 and A. I don't know, something like that, right? But like, it's an interesting point of Genji are international chokers.
Yeah.
T1 win tournaments. I don't know. Let's
Am
just
I
do it.
wait, am I blind or is there no G2 on here?
Oh, yeah, there's no G2 on there. Well, we'll just pretend.
Rip. Okay,
Rip.
wait, hold on. Let me see if this one's got G2.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
this one's got G2.
Okay.
Okay.
Restart.
Restart. But all right, so how do you rank your teams then? I feel like you have to do like a blend of those two criteria,
Okay.
right?
So you tell me, what are your thoughts? Do you think Gen G and BLG are both S tier?
I think BLG will be. I think BLG has to be first,
Okay.
and then I think it goes something like this.
All in S.
Honestly, yeah, yeah. Because for
Okay.
me, S tier is like they have a shot at winning.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I could see these guys winning,
Yeah.
and for honestly, all three of these BLG, Gen G, and T1, I could see all three of them taking MSI.
I think you're actually right.
Basically,
I kind of like that way of doing it. I think you're right because I think even if TES overperforms,
hmm
they're going to get blocked by BLG or Gen G or T1. And I don't
hmm
trust them to beat any one of those three teams, I don't think, right?
yeah, yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Um,
I can
I
get on
think
board with that. I can get on board
I
with that.
think it. Yeah, I think honestly, top esports and G2, I think you throw in the same tier like that.
Yeah. It's weird to do that because I think there is a gap between top esports and G2.
Yeah, me
I would
too. I
I
like.
would favor, but it's like weird to what happens with the. Let's see what happens. Let's leave them in the first. Let's leave them in A tier together right now and fill out the
Mhm.
rest of it, and then see if we need to move them.
Yeah. Okay. Bet.
Yeah.
Where do you want TL?
Okay. Here's where it gets really tricky, I think, because
Yeah.
TL, FlyQuest, Fnatic, and PSG are all I probably like similar tier, and then I think the order of the tier matters.
hmm
From what I've heard, PSG is like really insane. I mean, they have Jungia in the jungle, they
hmm
have Maple
Maple.
mid. Both of them are insane players.
hmm
My memory is that they've played on PSG together before.
Yeah.
Um,
They're
so
like the core.
yeah, so I would put them at the bottom of the other three. I would put TL, FlyQuest, and Fnatic all
Fnatic.
above PSG, but I also haven't watched much PSG, so that's just kind of my bias.
Uh huh.
Um, I think that there's a chance that PSG maybe outperforms one of those other teams, but I don't think so.
The other thing too, I don't know if you want to factor this in, but we have the play-in stage draws,
Yeah,
and I think is it T1, FlyQuest, Loud, and Astralis? No, Astralis, I
it's
think,
not Astralis. It's I
or
think Estral.
Estral.
Yeah,
But isn't
it's so insanely EU favored. It's crazy. It's T1, PSG, FlyQuest, Estral, and then it's
Astral
Fnatic, Loud, Gam, and
Gam?
TES,
Yeah.
which is
So
like
like
so unbalanced.
yeah, because like out of just for out of these four teams, two of them are gone,
Yes.
right? Which
Yeah.
is so
So here's the thing. Obviously, T1 makes it through. If they
yeah.
don't, that's the biggest upset in history, right? Like
hmm
that's maybe not that far, but it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Then the question, because I think Estral, however you pronounce that, I think they are out clearly as well.
Yeah.
So then it's either FlyQuest or PSG that makes it through,
PSG.
which
Yeah.
means the most likely thing that's going to happen, because it's T1 versus Estral in the
And then Fly.
and Fly versus PSG. So it probably means T1 beats Estral, FlyQuest play PSG. I think FlyQuest beat PSG. Then they
Mhm.
have to go play T1. They lose to
Lose.
T1. PSG beats Estral, and
hmm
then FlyQuest has to beat PSG again to get into the main stage. So
Yeah.
FlyQuest or PSG has to beat the other one potentially twice.
hmm See, so like I'm almost thinking about having these guys in C tier because like no matter what, one of them's gone. You know what I mean? Like TL, they're already in the main tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So
but
you're
I
kind
feel like
of
it's not fair to do it like that. Like,
you're
I'm
kind of
doing like a
looking at
blend of.
it as like not just how they're going to perform, but also like what their placements are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can get on board
Well,
with that.
because at the same time though, I think FlyQuest is like pretty equivalent with like Fnatic and TL.
Yeah.
I think TL is definitely of a higher, like the highest out of those three. And from what I've heard about PSG is just disgusting.
Yeah.
So
It's so hard because FlyQuest was clearly the best team for so
all
long.
split.
And
Yeah.
then they got dumpstered by TL in the finals after
Mm-hmm.
TL had they like built up steam throughout playoffs. They kind of did what
Yeah.
NRG did last year, built up steam, 3-1 uh FlyQuest. So
FlyQuest. Yeah.
the really tough thing about FlyQuest is I think they have the worst bot lane of the
Mm-hmm.
major region teams, right? You look
Yeah.
at Masu,
And
Busio,
Busio.
and I think that's the worst bot lane of any of the major regions. So that's like their clear weak point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how much does that matter? Yeah, that's kind of how I have it too.
Yeah.
So we have it listed right now as TL, Fnatic, FlyQuest, PSG.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel as well.
See, like I almost want to do this, where it's like,
Yeah.
and then this isn't even C, but no particular order.
Thanks for writing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Because I think for sure top esports and Fnatic make it through, right? And so
Yeah.
that's already cemented a top 8 finish. But one of these two is gone.
Yeah.
Unless T1's really down here, but I don't think
Unless they're
I don't
lost.
think that's the case.
The other thing is Gam and Loud that we haven't touched on yet. And
I think
I think it's something like that. I think it's something like that where I think it's the last tier. No, I think Gam is the bottom because
because
they're playing with 2 subs because of all the match fixing stuff.
Gambling,
Yeah. Normally Gam would be much higher. Normally Gam is like PSG tier.
Yeah.
But with all the gambling, the betting stuff, they're playing with 2 subs, and apparently their subs are not that good. So
they still have Levi. They still have Kiaya.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is not an MSI team, really.
If Gam beat Fnatic, I think we get to clown EU for the rest of time.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's how that gets to work, and that's just because of the situation that they're in. Normally, if Gam was
at
had their
strength.
full roster, then it would be closer. I think Fnatic would probably still win, honestly, but I think Gam is probably not going to do any damage at Worlds or at MSI.
Yeah, I agree. How do you feel about this? I feel like this is pretty solid, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that's decent. Yeah.
Yeah. S MSI favorites.
Yeah.
A could turn heads.
Turning heads is important.
Likely. Turning heads is very important.
Very important.
B made it out of play-ins.
Yeah, nice.
C no particular order / one is gone.
Yeah.
D
stands for
enjoy dead on my screen / enjoy the trip to Chengdu.
True. Yeah. No, I think that's right. I think that's right.
/1 LCS.
Here's the other thing that I was
Yeah.
thinking about the other day. I think T1. Oh, actually, I'm going to rescind that. I was going to say if T1 and Gen G play, and if
Mhm.
BLG and TES play, BLG and Gen G will always win those matchups.
Mhm.
So the only way for a T1 or a TES to win MSI is if they're better than both teams of the other region. You know what I'm saying? So like
T1 would have to be better than BLG.
T1 would have to be better than BLG and TES to be able to win, and TES would have to be better than both T1 and Gen G in order to win because they're not beating the 1 seed from their region. But I don't even know if that's true because I think that is true for TES. I think the only way that TES gets a win is by being better than Gen G and T1 and one of Gen G or T1 beating BLG somehow. I don't think TES is going to beat BLG. Just based on how their finals looked, it didn't look like TES can beat BLG.
Yeah.
But it never looks like that domestically either for T1 and Gen G. Like Gen G are T1's fathers in the LCK, but that's never the case at Worlds.
Yeah.
So, or at any international event. So I think T1 can beat Gen G at MSI. They just can't beat them domestically for whatever reason. But I don't think TES can beat BLG at MSI.
Yeah, I agree. I think obviously a Gen G or T1 will have to take out BLG first.
Yeah.
Which is that's a good point actually. I didn't even think about it that way. Cuz there isn't any like civil war, right? At MSI until like a final.
Yeah. We're gonna have our MSI episode next week, and we'll clarify then because I should learn the schedule. There's some kind of region protection, but it's not like in every match. I don't know. They just like split them on sides of the bracket, so maybe it is just in a final.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, I don't think the West. I want to see the West do well, but after seeing the LCK finals and LPL finals, it's kind of like, these teams have no shot. Yeah. Respectfully.
I don't think anyone outside of BLG, Gen G, or T1 are ever winning this MSI, right? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, maybe G2 if G2 gets like the craziest draws.
How funny
the lane
is that?
swaps just like confuse the shit out of Bin and Elk.
Like how funny is it that I low-key feel like G2 has a better shot of winning this tournament than TES does? It's so weird because like I don't think of G2 as a better team than Top Esports, but I feel like they have a better shot of winning MSI just because of something weird happening.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of them do. I don't think either of them do. I don't know. I'm so back and forth on G2.
Yeah, G2 needs to be like in their own tier or something. Like
they're like permanent dark horses of the international scene.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you give them a ton of credit and they lose 0-2 to NRG, and other times you give them a ton of credit and they win.
They beat
MSI.
Weibo. Yeah, or they win MSI.
Yeah. And the question is, which G2 are we getting at this event?
Yeah. Oh, this is so hard. And like honestly, like looking down in it too, like I don't even know how I feel about having FlyQuest below Fnatic. Like I don't actually think Fnatic is better than Fly. Weirdly enough, but like Fnatic's gonna go further than FlyQuest potentially. Like they have an easier route to the main stage.
Yes.
So like FlyQuest could easily just be out before Fnatic.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Regardless, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out like this.
I think that's okay. Yeah. I think how it turned out is good.
Yeah.
Also,
cool. Yeah.
We talked almost not at all about Loud or Astral. I think Astral is just in the tough position of I
They're
mean,
in like the group of death.
yeah, and that region never does super well. But Loud looked pretty good from my understanding in the CBLOL finals, and I just don't expect a lot of them from 1 and 2 seeds from NA and EU. So I mean no disrespect to Loud, and I think that they are better than the other two. It's just so tough to get past 1 or 2 seeds from the
LCS and PCS.
LCS. Yeah, or LCS and LEC too.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, Astral, they beat R7 or
yeah,
right with Summit. That's about all I knew from that team, and it was a 3-0, like absolute dismantling. Actually, I caught like the last game of that because I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bet on Summit to have some kills," and he had like 1 kill in 3 games or something like that. But
nice.
yeah, Astral like smoked Movistar. I want to say that's the name of their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the other interesting thing, though, is Jose Diodo is on Astral, which,
Mm-hmm.
man, if we're saying that name wrong, we've said it so many times this episode. It's going to be so awkward. But
Yeah.
Jose Diodo is on that team.
Uh-huh.
And someone just tweeted a screenshot of his boot camp in Korea, and
Mm-hmm.
he hit, he's like, Korean Master 500 LP or something with I
Uh-huh.
think a 98% win rate. He's lost
Oh wow.
1 game.
That's crazy for Korea.
Yeah. I think
Huh.
he was like 39-1 when someone tweeted his climb in Korea, I think. Which like that's insane.
That's that's nuts.
I don't think it means that they actually get out of play-ins, but
Uh-huh.
that is impressive.
That is very
super
impressive. Yeah. The only problem is that they got these two and these guys to go through, so
Yeah.
yeah. No disrespect.
No.
No respect.
Just got to write it all on there.
But
my biggest hope for MSI is just that we end up with good games.
Yeah, facts.
I want to see close games. I want to see. I would love to see like, TL versus G2. I would love to see, TL Fnatic, FlyQuest Fnatic, TL, even like TL top esports, I think would be interesting. Gen G top esports. Maybe TL top esports is not that good, but like, not Gen G, G2 top esports. Maybe that's. I mean, I think that would be a good series. Maybe TL top esports is not a good series, but I don't know. I just want to see these like close. I really want to see a lot of LCS and LEC playing each other.
Yeah, I want to get a gauge of how good the LCS is. I want to see how they compare to the rest of the regions. I think that's like always my biggest takeaway from world tournaments. It's like, all right, how well does NA really stack up? How well does EU really stack up? Who's better, Korea or China? It's always like there's always the mini arguments and little discussions that I love looking forward to. So
and we'll see if anyone starts the Golden Road.
Yeah, we got
BLG or Genji. Or I guess
G2
or TL.
Or TL. Yeah. I mean, G2 is the closest to it, so
yeah.
Historically, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna exit out of this tier list, but I like how it turned out. I think I can get behind this. I
think it's decent. I think I can get behind that.
Yeah. But is that it, dude? Like, I think there's not much else to really talk about as far as MSI goes. We kind of hit on all the roster moves and rumors.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should definitely be mentioning, but
yeah, we didn't really talk too much about top esports BLG, but it was a pretty convincing BLG win.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that game 3 was a content game for BLG because I think Mako really just like carried the fuck out of that game on his
Mako's
Ash.
pretty insane.
Dude, Mako actually has looked so good. He's such a big piece for top esports. Um, but yeah, I think it was just the Elk show combined with the Bin show combined with the like it was literally just like pick your poison and one of them
Yeah.
is going to carry. It's kind of like what I said last week. It's like BLG is, if one guy gets ahead, they're just going to run with it and that guy's going to carry them for that game. So
Yeah.
like Elk did it game 1, Shun did it game 2, game 4. Game 4 is a little more I fell asleep and I haven't seen game 4,
It was
but
that boring.
I honestly didn't think that Top was gonna take game 3, and so I was snoozing in the middle of game 3.
Yeah, a bit of a 6 a.m. up all night moment.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it was like how we were like, oh yeah, it's at 1:30, it's at 3.
Yeah.
It started at 2.
I saw that because
Yeah.
I went and checked afterwards, and they had corrected the LoL esports website to say that it started at 2. But
Yeah.
before the game started, it said it was at 3,
Yeah.
and it was tweeted that it was going to start at 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, doodaloo, doodaloo, whatever. Let me hop on the stream. And they're in the middle of draft. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, thank goodness I hopped on now. Otherwise, I'd have missed all of game 1, waiting till 3.
Dude, fuck the LoL esports website. That's
Yeah.
another hill I'll die on. That website's garbage.
Yeah.
I have to use it all the time, but it sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so they never have the matches listed in a time that like is helpful to anyone.
Mhm.
They have all the information is available. It's run by Riot. They
Mhm.
have the information. They can put in the information so that fans know when games are, and they don't do it.
Yeah.
What a
You can
garbage
barely
website.
see like past match results.
Yeah.
You can barely see future schedules for like a single team. Like it's all up in like the little tiny banner if you click on the team.
Don't
That's
even
like,
get me started about the rosters either, because
Oh.
they have like every player that's played for that team for the past 2 years listed on the roster. Like
they have like the academy team players. Like
put the roster. Just
yeah,
we're not asking for a lot. We're asking for the schedule and the rosters of the team. That's it.
Mhm.
It's not, there's so little information.
Yeah,
Like,
it's tough.
You can't be outdone by Leaguepedia every time.
And goal.gg, bro.
Yeah, like you can't have these third-party sites just like whoop your ass every time. Whatever.
Every time.
Whatever.
Every time.
Whatever. I don't care.
Bro. Whatever.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I think we can close it off there.
Bit of a short one.
Yeah. We don't have too much to talk about. We're just excited for MSI coming up.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
dude,
Little bit of
we
bonus
forgot
content.
to talk about LCS best of 3s and the rumor of LPL moving to Fearless.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So quick little bonus because we're idiots. But there was Travis Gafford posted a video where he said LCS is moving to best of 3s, which
Hype.
you trust Travis Gafford, right?
Yeah.
Hype, and it's that almost definitely means it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be single round robin, so we're only going to see each team play each other once. So each team plays another team 7 times, but that's a minimum of 14 games and a maximum of 21 for each team. So it's a minimum of what they played. If they go 2-0 or 0-2 in every single series, you get the same number of games that they played this last split. And if they have any 2-1s, it only increases the number of games, which is awesome.
Yeah. And then LPL, the rumor is over there. Obviously, all we've seen is screenshots from, translated Weibo social media posts. But the rumor is because of LDL having Fearless, the rumor is LPL is also moving to Fearless draft. And this is the more controversial take or like rumor, I want to say, that I've been seeing around Twitter. Like a lot of LCS guys are kind of like piggybacking, kind of advocating that for LCS as well. people are like, you've seen people are like kind of curious, like, is this going to become a league wide thing, like for LEC and LCK too, right?
Yeah, so that's a very like fringe rumor. It's not even a rumor. That is pure speculation. Is
Mhm.
that the reason that the LCS is moving to best of threes is because LPL is starting to do Fearless and they want to implement that globally. So
Mhm.
we're going to see LPL get Fearless. It's also going to come to LCK, LEC, and LCS, and that's going to become the standard. And that'll be a little interesting in the LEC because they still do best of ones,
Yeah.
but they only do 9 best of ones, and then their playoffs are like, they went through like 2 full playoffs before the LCS finished
Round
one.
one.
So
Yeah.
I think it'll still work if that happens, but it is the more controversial rumor. And what do
Yeah.
you think? What's your take on Fearless?
So I didn't realize that it was just the winning team. All those picks are banned. I
Yeah,
thought it was like every pick that was picked, so it'd be like 10 off the board every single, after each game.
yeah,
I think if they did something like that, that would be crazy because then there's so many more combinations that, we'd be seeing. Um, but the one argument I saw for against it is it's more or less going to be the same, except like you get more interesting combinations come game 3 if there is a game 3. And I haven't
yeah,
seen too
because
much
people will
Fearless.
just handshake and trade drafts. I think I saw
Yeah.
that argument too. Yeah,
Yeah. But I'll have to check out some of the LCS Fearless stuff and that, or like, Academy, right?
Academy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then some of the LDL stuff because
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's working over there, like, for more like another league to implement it.
People are
Um,
liking it.
yeah. But I would love to see more like fun combinations of champions. That's my thing.
Yeah,
Um, but I've also seen people say like, "Oh, this is bad for league." It doesn't actually reward players with deep champion pools.
I
So
think
I
that's
don't
cap.
know.
I'm not on board with the take that one of the takes that I've seen is Fearless is bad because it, when you force players to start playing more champions, the level of the league goes down.
Mm,
But especially so one of the things that's important is that people are making a distinction between, I think they're calling it like true fearless or like, I don't know, there's not good names for them. There's one form of fearless where the winning team, that draft gets banned away for them for the rest of the BO3 or BO5, whatever they're playing.
uh-huh.
So for the rest of that, what is it called? Set? What? Why can't I think of
Uh,
the word?
Series?
Series. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So for the rest of that series, whenever a team wins with a draft, those teams are essentially added, or those champs are essentially added to the champs that are banned away from them in the following game. So if you
Hmm.
win game 1 with 5 champs, all 5 of those champs are banned against your team, plus the other team still gets their 5 champs. You get 10 champs banned away from you in plus whatever you ban for their team. It gets complicated, but like the champs
Yeah.
that you win on get banned away. There's another form of fearless where it's not just the winning team, it's both teams.
Uh-huh.
So whatever draft gets played in a game goes away for the rest of the series. And
Yeah.
that's really interesting in best of threes because you get rid of 20 champs over the first 2 games, and then you have, different champs in game 3. The
Hmm.
problem with that type of fearless is when you get to best of fives and you go to a game 5 and you have 40 champs that are off the table plus
Yeah.
20 or 10 bans. So you essentially have 50 champs off the table in your
Uh-huh.
game 5, right?
So
That's where it
for
gets complicated.
Fearless, there's no bans at all though.
Oh, is there not?
Yeah, it's just like pick. It's just
Oh,
like
I didn't
pick
know that.
selection. Yeah. But
Okay.
to your point, like, yeah, there would still be 40 champions banned come
Yeah.
game 5.
So that's what people are worried about. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that makes the game more interesting.
Uh-huh.
I can understand why there's hesitancy, but the take that I realized I kind of walked myself in a circle. The take that I don't agree with is that Fearless is bad because it forces players to play more different champions, and then the level of the league will go down because they're not playing the same champions all the time. But
Mhm.
I think maybe that's true. I don't think that's true. I think these pro players can pilot other champs at a professional level that isn't just Cassante every game or
Mhm.
something, right? But also, I think you should have to be able to pilot other champs at that level.
Yeah.
I think all it does is add more variation and interest.
Mhm.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm all for it,
Oh,
honestly.
I mean, there's some chance that you never see in pro play that,
Yeah.
might come out, right? That's like the prospects of that for me is super interesting because I'm an ARAM guy and I just get what's handed to me. So like I'm not saying that pros would be in the same boat, but like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the same Zyra Khan. It's not going to be Jinx Tom Kench. It's not going to be, Senna TK, right? You're going to have to see some type of variation. Like, who knows? We see some more like or Zyra supports. We see some
Yeah.
more like, I don't know, Timo Top or something. Like, I don't know, like just, fun picks, right?
Yeah. Maybe
So
we get Rammus AD carry with Yumi
yeah,
support.
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully not,
Uh,
but maybe.
yeah, yeah, you never know. But yeah, I think like the argument that you're kind of talking about how it brings the level of the league down is more like if LPL is the only one doing it. I think that was like the argument that they're making
Yeah.
because then like come international, then I think it wouldn't be fearless at Worlds, right?
Yeah. I've actually heard both arguments. I've heard one that if it's only one major region that plays fearless and
Hmm.
internationals aren't fearless, then that team is at a disadvantage. But I've also seen the argument that within a region, if it goes to fearless, the level of that region will go down because players are forced to pick more champs
Mm.
and that they're not as proficient on.
Oh,
And
okay.
I I disagree. I don't think
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, I mean there should be at least 10 champions that a player can play, like
Right?
uh, assuming it goes to game 5 of a best of 5, like there should be at least 10 middle laners that a player can play, right?
Maybe this is a hot take, but if you're a Cassante one trick and all you can play is Cassante, maybe you're not that good of a player.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, if you don't have
respectfully.
any diversity in your champ pool, I would love to see players with diverse champ pools thrive.
Mhm.
I think that's part of the game.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, you have to be able to play more than one champ.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like you don't have to rely on metas so heavily, right?
Yeah.
Like it comes down to more of like skill, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
even true, but like in a roundabout way it might become like more of a skill matchup. Like you might
Yeah.
see like an Akali versus a Kiana, like a super heavy like skill assassin matchup.
Yeah.
So I don't
It
know.
definitely has really interesting implications for draft.
Hmm.
And I think you're right that you start end up. I would have to look into it more, but I would guess that you start to see less matchups that are solved
Hmm.
because I think you see a lot of pro players right now talk about how certain matchups are more or less solved, where there's a correct way to play the matchup,
Hmm.
and if played correctly, there's a champ that should always win a
Yeah.
matchup or always get at least an advantage.
Hmm.
And I think with fearless, you stop seeing, especially if you get the kind of fearless where all 10 champs go away, you stop seeing handshake trades, you stop seeing the same matchups every game, and you start getting more variance, which to your point lends itself to higher skill players, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, for sure. I Yeah, regardless, I think there's some champs that just need to get picked more. It'd be fun to see them in pro play. Like imagine if
Yeah,
we saw Briar in pro play, Like
that'd be
I
sick.
don't, I don't think there's been one yet. But whenever I play her and like well, Earth is completely different too. But like I've played her in Earth before, and she is broke. Like
Yeah.
I I don't know. There's so many fun champs that just need to see the pro stage, and if Fearless is the way to that, I'm all for it. Because I'd love to see other champions getting played that aren't just the meta champs. Same 10, 15 champs getting played in all four regions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll
Uh,
see.
we'll see. And just in terms of the BO3 thing for LCS, real quick, the only thing I would say is this is a put up or shut up moment for fans
Hmm.
because it's been
Begging
really
for it.
hyped, begging for it for the
Yeah.
last year or so.
Hmm.
And if viewership drops off a cliff, it's going to be a real punch in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Mark Z is just going to be like,
guys, team,
what are we
come on.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it either blows up viewership and we start seeing a lot of success, more people come into the scene. Maybe it better prepares the LCS for internationals, and
Hmm.
we start seeing more international viewership. Either that happens, which is what everyone is more or less expecting and hoping for,
Yeah.
or people don't want to watch a best of three between Immortals and Dig,
Yeah.
and no one shows up, and the viewership drops off a cliff, and we lose best of threes again next year.
Hmm.
So I'm on team best of three.
Me
I'm going to be
too.
watching them,
Yeah.
but I just hope that stays true for the rest of the league fan base.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I watch Nongshin versus Bro. I got to see who's the worst.
Hey, fight to the bottom.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, I think it'll be okay, especially with an 8-team league.
Yeah.
You'll at least be seeing a decent matchup almost every game,
Yeah.
right? Like IMT is only going to play Shopify once,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Even that, like, we've talked about this, but the bottom like four teams in the LCS still were compelling to watch for a lot of the season. IMT was still taking games off of
yeah.
people. It
Oh, for
still
sure.
looked like Shopify had a shot at
Yeah.
playoffs like the whole time. So I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think there's going to be a lot of viewership, but there has to be, or we're probably just going to lose it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up. I guess it's down to us, it's down to the fans.
Pretty
So,
much.
yeah. I'm excited for it though. I love
Yeah.
watching LPL and LCK with their best of threes. So, to have that in our own home region, I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hype. I'm going to watch every single series.
Yeah, exactly. And it honestly makes it easier to watch, and like I feel like storylines can build up a little better that way too. It's not just like
Yeah.
one and done. You have something that you can build off of. You can have an actual 3-game series, and
It
then
feels more real. That's
yeah.
not a good way to describe it.
Well,
It feels more competitive.
yeah.
I don't know.
It feels like way better prep for international. It feels
Yeah.
like you know LCK has been doing best of threes for who knows how long. Like since at least as long as I've been watching,
Yeah.
and it works for them. Same with LPL. As long as I've been watching those guys, it's always been best of threes. Albeit I haven't been watching for too long, but
Sure.
like it's the reason why I started watching is because of the best of threes. It's like I feel like the better team also usually wins out in the end of a best of three.
Yeah.
So it's like a way better test of how the team, like you get a way better gauge of like where the team's actually at, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think 100 Thieves was like an example of that last year, where like stealing away, best of ones, and maybe ending up a little higher than they should have been. Whereas if they were playing best of threes, maybe we don't see them as high, but at the same time, that's probably better prep for them anyways going into playoffs. Like they probably wish that they had best of threes to play throughout the season, just so that they could prep better come playoff time.
And it's I lost my train of thought. That's it.
That's it.
I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's lower variance. It's you'll probably see the actual better team win.
Mm-hmm.
You can't cheese out wins unless your cheese is like a legitimate strategy. You know, if you cheese out a team in one game, it's not going to work for the next couple games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It just feels more competitive and more legit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think you actually made a really good point about the whole rivalry thing. For whatever reason, even though we're not getting like substantially more games or anything, for whatever reason, to me, BO3s feel like they foster rivalry better than BO1s do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like,
and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, like sure, C9 will play FlyQuest twice. Or what's a better rivalry? TL and 100 Thieves, right? I feel like that was like a decent rivalry. Like, I'd much rather see them play 3 games back to back to back than they play once in week 1 and then another time in like week 7 and then they meet in playoffs,
Yeah.
Even if they only get to play them one time, like I'm circling that on my calendar as opposed to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I tune in at 2 p.m. on Sunday to watch TL versus 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I'm like making sure that I watch that best of 3 instead.
And it's a bummer that it's only a single round robin. I get why they're doing that. It's still kind of a bummer that it's a single round robin, but it's a double round robin worth of games minimum.
Mm-hmm.
It's a double to triple round robin worth of games. So when you get teams that are fairly closely matched and do have a lot of rivalry, there's a chance that you get to see them play 3 games back to back and not just 2 over the course of a split.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really cool. Maybe it ends up not being entertaining for fans, but I have high hopes.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if anything that we can take away from LCK and LPL, it's like fans look forward to seeing these big matchups,
Yeah.
So hopefully that translates to the LCS.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
End of bonus section.
End of bonus. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
As always, like, follow, share, subscribe. We're on all social media platforms. If you're listening to the podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, any of your favorite podcasting sites. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much for all your support. Take us out.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. As always, all chats by the fans for the fans. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Stop.